I have so much that I want to share with you. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Carrie, and I want to be your reader. It is my hopes on this channel that I can bring you content or readings that don't sound like every other reader out there on YouTube. So, I was pulling a card out of my Fairies Oracle deck, and I got the Singer of Connections. The Singer of Connections is a little bit of an ethereal card. Some of the cards in this deck have this kind of more vague, not really vague, ethereal quality to them. So I want to go ahead and read out of the book rather than just merely gazing at the card for, maybe like 10 minutes to find some meaning. I hope you find this meaningful after I go ahead and read this out of the book. I'm actually going to pull some tarot cards and we can delve deeper into this. Alright, the Singer of Connection. Spiritual connection, karma, balance, and empathy. The Singer supports all connections, the web of light between all beings, all particles, and between past, present, and future. It brings wholeness to apparent duality and combines all energies, uniting all that was, is, or could be. When we lose awareness of this connection in our lives, we feel isolated, lonely, bereft. Yet the energy is there, we only need to be open to it. There are emotions that help us open up: love, compassion, trust, and so on. There are other emotions that tend to close down unless we make special effort to keep our hearts open. As you could probably guess, these emotions are feelings such as jealousy, anger, fear, grief, and other similar painful nature. Yet sometimes those very emotions, when carried to an extreme, cause us to break down and then break through to the Song of Ecstasis. This is a risky way to go, as well as an extremely difficult one, because more often the breakdown just stays broken for a long time, and we retreat back into more crippled versions of our original selves. A far better way to become even more aware of our essential holistic nature is to work at keeping our hearts open, seeing relationships, being earthed and centered and connected. In a meditation, someone, I suspect it was the Singer, asked me to let go of all my defenses. I argued that surely we need defenses in this world in order to survive. I was firmly but lovingly told it is only by letting go of your defenses that you become invulnerable. That gave me such a strong shock of recognizing the rightness that I couldn't even breathe for a moment. But then, still reluctant because it sounded like a big job, I muttered that I didn't think I even knew how to do that, or even what my defenses were. I was assured kindly that I would receive help if I asked for it, and I know that you would be given some aid too. So this Singer of Connection, the biggest takeaway I got from that is this choice we have between love and fear, right? Just yesterday, I was talking about, some difficulties that I'm experiencing myself, and, there's this tendency to have fear, like we as human beings, we get into uncertainty and, anxiety, fear, these types of things are natural, but we also have a choice. We can fall into fear, or we can choose love, right? We have the ability to decide, yes, maybe I feel these emotions of anxiety, maybe I feel these emotions of fear, but do I want to respond with fear? Do I want to respond with love? Hopefully you want to respond with love, right? Because that gives you the chance to be open to possibilities. It gives you the chance to, see that, hey, I can pull this off. Maybe I can figure out the solution to my problem, or maybe the universe will figure it out for me. Specifically, the universe can figure it out for me as long as I'm willing to participate, as long as I'm willing to make that choice. This morning, I actually had something come up. I'm working on becoming a driver for a company that I'm not going to name because I don't know if I can get copyrighted for that or not, but I'm working on becoming a driver for a company, and there were some technical difficulties that came up, issues that made it where they couldn't proceed with the final step, which was the background check, because they thought that I needed documentation even though I'd already submitted everything, and there was that anxiety, there was that fear, but every single day I had courage to call them up and be like, hey, what are we doing to fix this? Hey, what's the progress on that? And this morning, I get this email, it's fixed. And normally they say the background check takes, could take like 5 to 7 days. It took 3 hours complete. I can move forward. I don't think that if I hadn't chosen to trust myself enough and to trust the universe enough to take the actions, of staying on them and being like, you know what, this is going to work, that I would have got that email this morning, right? So, like I said, this was that choice between choosing fear, choosing love. All right, now, let's get into some tarot. I'm actually going to be using my Robin Wood Tarot deck. It's kind of an artistic reinterpretation of your classic Rider-Waite, very beautiful deck. And let's see what comes through that may be personally relevant to you. Alright, first card I'm getting is the Lovers. Sorry, I have to kind of cover some of that because YouTube is particularly prudent on nudity, and I don't feel like drawing or taping over my cards because they're my personal property. Okay, so in the Lovers right now, what I'm looking at here is a matter of choice, right? You have a decision in your life to make, and it was like I was talking about. Are you choosing fear or are you choosing love? Alright, so building on the Lovers, what is this choice? What are the choices? Okay. Next card I'm pulling is Strength. Alright, so let's take a look at Strength. Now, Strength, from what I usually understand, it tends to be actually about gentleness. It's not a matter of force. It's not a matter of, like, I have to make things happen this way. It is a trust. So if you look at the lady on the card, she has a more gentle relationship to this lion here, and that is really a matter of trust. It's really a matter of connection and openness. So we have this, the Lovers being about a choice, and then we have Strength here, this gentleness, this trust. Yet again, this all going already in with the theme of the Singer of Connection, right? The choose trust, choose love, choose gentleness. Because if you choose gentleness, well, let's see what the next card says. Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. This is not bad news. If you understand the Eight of Swords, this lady, her bindings are really, they're not real. They're kind of her own doing. Like, she thinks she's trapped. She's surrounded by the swords, and yet she could walk forward, right? So, I'm kind of getting this whole idea of, like, the power to loose, the power to bind. If you're feeling scared, if you are feeling anxious and you're choosing fear, you could stay stuck. But if you choose love, you could realize, I can take this blindfold off, I can take these bindings off, and I could just walk forward into the next thing. You can walk forward into the next thing. Alright, so these three cards confirming pretty much what we already started with on the Singer of Connections. Let's go ahead and see if we can get some information on the next thing. Ooh, interesting. Now, we're looking at 7 of Cups. So when we're looking at the next thing, it's not that it's something set in stone, it's that you have the ability to decide what it is, right? You have this young lady, she's got so many possibilities, so many choices, right? What do you want? What are you dreaming about? Is it just simply a matter of like, oh, I want stability for myself, or is it a matter of, I want to do this thing, and I don't know how I can do this thing that I want because I can't see how it can support me, or I can't see how I can get to that goal, right? So the idea here is you can choose to trust that it's possible. You can choose to trust that, you know what, this can become a reality. So making that choice when you decide for yourself, hey, I really want this thing. Temperance. Well, alright. Let's take a moment to consider temperance. This was actually the card that I was talking about yesterday. This balance, this alchemical process, the ability to handle situations that come up with balance between our mind and our emotions, the physical and the non-physical, this stability and this level ability to manage ourselves in such a way that we can make ends meet, right? You have, so I'm feeling like in this case, it's kind of like more of an emotional type of block rather than a reality of whether you can achieve the thing you want or whether you can succeed with something you're starting on. I feel like in this case, it's a matter of bringing yourself back into the center, right? If we look at this angel here, the triangle within that square is talking about the divine being within you, within human form. So you know you have the capacity to accomplish whatever your goal. Now, maybe you need to make a plan, or maybe you just need to feel out each thing day by day, but so what we're looking at here is you have dreams, you have choices, and you have the ability to make it happen, right? By staying centered, by balancing, by juggling this alchemical process, we can take these anxieties and fears we have about a situation and say, you know what, I'm going to use this as a way to move myself forward. Okay, let's pull one more card particularly pertaining to that dream, pertaining to that goal. And right off the bat, I have the King of Pentacles. So, looking at this King of Pentacles, he has come to a point in his life to where he is the master of his own kingdom. He has a solid plan. He has a solid foundation. He knows how to get the job done. So, this kind of goes back to that back to confirming if you are level enough that you can come up with a plan, then that plan can carry you through to the success of the thing you're looking for. Alright, let's see. Do we have anything more we want to say on this topic, or should we talk about something else? Eight of Cups. Alright, so with this Eight of Cups, we're looking at this gentleman who is moving away from something, right? He's got the cups behind him, and he's heading off into the mountains. He's got his staff, the feathers and the vines on it, and for some reason, I want my attention to be brought to the moon back here and this flock of birds. So what I'm seeing here is because this moon is still in a crescent phase, it is something that's growing, right? It is not full, but it is on the way to becoming full. And the staff he's holding with the feathers kind of gives me this connection to the birds, right? A little bit of a dreaming, a little bit of envisioning his goal. That being said, since he's walking away from these cups, since he's leaving the current situation, it would be helpful for you to not necessarily stick to old patterns, old ways of doing things, old beliefs, fears, anxieties, and so forth. So I feel like that one kind of touches just a little bit more on the same thing we're talking about here. Don't be held back by your anxieties. Don't be held back by your old beliefs, your old patterns, your ways of doing things. Dream big. Keep yourself balanced. Come up with a solid plan that actually will provide you the ability to accomplish your goal. Okay, so I have a feeling like this is really what we needed to talk about here on this reading today. I hope that this has given you some encouragement and inspiration and the desire to come up with some sort of a plan to move yourself into some sort of situation that is better for you, into whatever your dream, whatever your goal, and to step outside of and leave behind things that are less and not meant for you anymore. If this helped you, I encourage you to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification for notifications, and I will see you